All right, welcome into Flock Nation Speaks. Flock Nation Speaks. Flock Nation Speaks, your Baltimore Ravens podcast, where we talk about the best team in NFL history. If you're a Ravens fan, I am a huge Joe Flacco fan. Wise Usher once said, "Situations will arise in our lives." I'm talking about shut down. Like you're not throwing on Jimmy Smith. Joe is criminally underrated. Criminally, lock him up in cuffs. Criminally underrated. Lamar's put this team as a top 5 offense for the first time in 20 years. Got the arm talent. Jay Cutler had it too. I don't care about this argument against total TDs and all this. Oh, you want to talk about defense? Oh, until next time. What is going on, good people? We are back once again. It is Flock Nation Speaks, your Baltimore Ravens podcast. Talks about the best team in NFL history who will win the Super Bowl this season. If you're a Ravens fan, of course. Look, I might just add. I think I'm just gonna add different stuff to that every time, and make it a running joke of things that the Ravens fans want. But maybe I'll make it like relevant to the video. So the best team in NFL history who wants Marcus Peters back at cornerback number 2. If you're a Ravens fan, of course. See, it works. It works. It works. See, but anyway, what's going on, good people? Back at it again, DJ. I'm your host. I'm back. We're gonna talk about this defense this time, because I mean, you can't talk about the Ravens without talking about the defense, because if you do, then you just can't do it. You just can't. I mean, there's no reason not to talk about the defense, because you can't. I mean, you can't, right? You can't. This defense came on last year. They really did. Like, honestly, I feel like the defense really, for whatever reason, they found their groove last season. They figured out what they wanted. They figured out who they were. They figured out their identity. I mean, they became what we expected this defense to be, if you think about it, right? They became what we expected this defense to be, with the addition of Roquan Smith, right? As guys got healthier, they started to shut people down. Top offenses in the league, they started to shut them down, right? They started to, they played well against Joe Burrow. They played well against a lot of these guys. But anywho, free agency, right? I was gonna say it's right around the corner, but it's not, right? Like, free agency is in full effect, full swing. Like, we all up in the free agency right now, and I simply want to throw this out. I'm just gonna throw it out there. Y'all catch it if y'all want. I think Marcus Peters should still be an option for the Ravens to come back to the Ravens. He misses us, okay? He misses us. So Marcus Peters should still be an option for the Ravens. But there's some interesting guys that sometimes I think we forget about too. Like, I think we forget that some of these guys are still out there. I think we forget that some of these guys are still, they're still out there, ready for the taking, available. And of course, we know DeAndre Hopkins is one of them or whatever. But just very interesting, because I think Marcus Peters should still be an option, for the simple fact of, I don't think Marcus Peters played badly last year because of his age. Because a lot of people, for whatever reason, I don't know what it is, but people want to put Marcus Peters into this category as somebody who played bad because he was getting older. Little did we forget, how quickly we forget that Marcus Peters was coming off of ACL surgery, thrown into a game before he was ready against Miami, one of the top and most talented offenses in the league, and we knew that before we even saw them. And he was thrown into that game, right? He was thrown into that game, and he was told, hey, you know what? Go defend Jalen Waddle. He's fast. Good luck. Now, good luck coming off of the ACL, my friend, right? He was told, defend Tyreek Hill. He's really fast. Like, he's faster than Jalen Waddle, and Jalen Waddle's fast. So that's the tough part about it. Right? That's the tough part about it, because a lot of people have some ill will towards Marcus Peters for how he played last season when I don't even think Marcus Peters was 100%. We forget. Do we forget the times that Marcus Peters and Marlon Humphrey they played together, and it was just magic. It was just beautiful. It was just. I mean, it was from the DB position. It was. I mean, you got the guy on one side who cheats, right? He cheats the routes, but dang on it, he's so good at it. He's so smart. And then on the other side, you got this physical. I mean, this corner who just gonna beat you up until you done. You like, I don't want this anymore. I'm done with this. I'm done with this matchup. Right? I mean, he'll punch the ball out, he'll pick you off, whatever, right? He didn't allow a touchdown last year, but wasn't in the top 10 cornerbacks in Pro Football Focus. But anyway, we ain't gonna talk about that. We ain't gonna talk about that. Okay? We're not gonna talk about that. We're gonna leave that. So Marcus Peters, back to the point. Marcus Peters should be an option for the Ravens. And I think he should be like up here with it, right? He should be at the top of the list. Let's take a look real quick at the list of free agents left, and there are gonna be some offensive people in this because I can't take the offensive people off unless I'm utilizing an article. So there are gonna be some offensive people there. Okay, there are gonna be some offensive people there. But if you let's take a look real quick. This is a list of the top 101 free agents that has dwindled down to like 10. Greg Rosenthal wrote this one for NFL.com. And if you look, of course, the Ravens always in the need. The Ravens always need a darn edge rusher, I tell you. They always need an edge rusher. Like, I ain't never seen a team always need an edge rusher. Right? Always. They always need an edge rusher. So the Ravens need an edge rusher all the time. And Yannick Ngakoue, Jadeveon Clowney, two of those guys, right? Honestly, I like Jadeveon a lot. I know he's he a number one overall pick. I get that. I understand what y'all saying. But I'd rather have Yannick Ngakoue, right? I don't think we truly got to see what Yannick Ngakoue can do. He still made plays for the Colts last year. He made plays for the Raiders before, and he almost made some plays for us too. So I would like to see Yannick Ngakoue back as a guy who's still young enough to make plays and get after the passer, but a guy who also still I think he still got a little bit to prove to the Baltimore Ravens fan base. Okay, so I mean you got those guys. I think Frank Clark is still down here too, which I'm surprised he's this low on this list. Justin Houston too as well. So very, very interesting, right? Very interesting to see because with Yannick Ngakoue and Jadeveon Clowney, I mean, you can't go wrong, right? I don't think you can go wrong with either one of them. I think especially when we talk about edge rushing depth, pass rushing depth, I don't think you can go wrong with either one of those guys, right? I think both of them are good. But as we scroll down, right, number 47, right, number 24 on our hearts and 47 on this list, okay, Marcus Peters. He's still out there. He's still available. But kind of like I said in the last video when I was talking about DeAndre Hopkins being a steal, I think in a similar way on the defensive end, Marcus Peters could be a steal. And here's the thing, right? Marcus Peters could be brought back, and because of the guys you have at corner already anyway, right? You've signed Rocky Singh, you've signed all of these guys, right? You still got Jalen Armour-Davis and Pepe Williams. You can ease Marcus Peters into a lighter role if you really are concerned about his health, if you really are concerned that he's not the same guy. But I think at the same time, we have to remember, right? We have to remember that at the same time, Marcus Peters stayed relatively healthy last season. And I think considering he was coming off an ACL and he's going to be as close to 100% as he can be coming off a year removed from an ACL, I think that means that Marcus Peters has so much potential to bring this defense to that next level again, right? He's got all the potential in the world to bring this team back to that next level. right? This defense is going to be good. It honestly, at this point, and it's hard for me to say this, but it doesn't really matter the personnel right now, I think, because this is the Ravens way. This is what they do. They play defense, right? They play defense. This team plays defense. And they're well coached on defense. Defense is like literally ingrained. If you are drafted to the Ravens, they put a microchip in you that says defense on it. I don't care if you're an offensive player. You get a defensive microchip, okay? You just do. We know this. We know how the Ravens are. You get, I mean, I'm a fan and I have a defensive microchip, okay? So that's just how it is, right? You are ingrained that defense is the way. So regardless of who the guy, if they trot out there Marlon Humphrey and Rocky Sin, like it doesn't really matter. Like the defense is going to be good. They can try Marlon Humphrey and Brandon Stevens. Like we forget they tried it out Anthony Averett and all kinds of guys a couple years ago with all those injuries, and the defense held up. Now it wasn't the greatest defense in the world. We seen some, we seen some issues, but at the same time, this defense is going to be good regardless. So, but my thing is, why not go ahead and put it over the top, right? Now, albeit, here's the thing. The thing about defensive signings is, if you get Marcus Peters, if you can you get all these guys? You have no cap room to even get all these guys. You have no cap room to get DeAndre Hopkins. You have no cap room to get a Unique Ngakoue. You have no cap room to get Marcus Peters. I think you got to pick two of the three, right? You got to pick two of the three. And I think the Ravens would lean on the defensive end now because they feel like possibly they've done enough on the offensive end, right? Albeit, I think they can continue to push into the offensive bucket, just let it overflow. Let it overflow. Put as much into it as you need to. But I understand. And my thing is too, like I would go edge rusher, I think, before I would even go corner. Now, would I rather have Ngakoue over Marcus Peters? I don't know. It's just something about Marcus Peters, man. Like he has that Raven in him, He just does, right? He just does. Like Unique Ngakoue, he's been here before and he's done some things, and Javon kind of will be fine. But I mean, this is why you got Ojabo. This is why you got Oweh, depending on how you feel about Oweh, right? This is why you got like these other pass rushers. This is why you have these guys. You got Broderick Washington, you got Michael Pierce, you got Meta BK, right? This is why you have these guys, right? Now, it don't never hurt to have more. And as I think too, here's the other thing about it too. As we get closer and closer to the season, right? Closer and closer to the end of the off season and the beginning of the regular season, I think it becomes easier to pick up a guy like a Unique Ngakoue and pick up a guy like a Marcus Peters, right? Now, DeAndre Hopkins, I don't think he's gonna. I mean, he's not. DeAndre Hopkins might not last until next week, right? Like he might not last until next week. So DeAndre Hopkins will be gone sooner rather than later. So if you want to go with DeAndre Hopkins, I think he's gonna be the first person you pick up because obviously these other guys have been out here for months. But I think at the same time, you know, you could, if you wanted to get DeAndre Hopkins, get him, and then wait a little bit closer, see who's left, and then go after him. Because I think they're still. I mean, I think they're still going to be quality players. I think Unique Ngakoue is still going to be a quality player closer to the season. I think Jadeveon Clowney is still going to be a quality player, closer to the season. I just do. I just do. That's just how I feel. But we'll see. We'll see. I honestly, long story short, I think that Marcus Peters should still be an option. I really do. I think Marcus Peters takes his corner room to a whole nother level, and I think he got an unfair shake last season. I'm forgetting about Tyus Bowser, right? Tyus Bowser, another pass rusher too. Like you have pass rushers. I think you're good in the pass rusher sense. But I mean, I can understand, with the corner room, I can understand wanting one more guy who's been there and done that. I get that. I get that. I mean, you've done it on offense for years and years in the wide receiver room, but I think at least in the corner room, you're gonna have good coaching on that end too. So we'll see. We'll see what they do. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Do you think on the defensive end for the Ravens? What should they do? Should they grab Ngakoue? Should they grab Clowney? Should they grab Marcus Peters? Should they bring Marcus Peters back? I think Marcus Peters should come back. That's just me. I would take Marcus Peters in the pass rusher and then let these other guys play. That's just me. We'll see. Because I mean, like I said, I think DeAndre Hopkins is a hope and a dream. living on a prayer. Living on a prayer. You know what I mean? I think it is. It's just living on a prayer. Like you just you hoping, right? You hoping that you might get him, right? You hoping that you might get him. And two, one of the things I didn't mention in my previous video was, let's not forget, like DeAndre Hopkins is hoping to win a title too. Like it's not just, oh, I want to go put up numbers. Like he wants to win a title too. So the Ravens become a perfect destination for that. So those are the two teams. But anyway, definitely hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, you can always watch or listen to Flock Nation Speaks on Facebook, YouTube if you want to watch, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, not Anchor anymore, as much as I want to say it, right? Google Podcasts, all the good ones, some of the bad ones, we own all of them. But definitely hope you guys enjoyed the show. We'll see you guys on the next episode of Flock Nation Speaks. Until